Hello and welcome to Little Library of Spirits, a visual novel about Penelope who discovers a hidden little library nestled against a lone cemetery. But little does she know that the books hold a secret of their own. Yeah, it sounds very interesting, so without further ado, we'll start a new game. Just great. Penelope trudged up the quiet hill, still fuming at her most recent argument with her parents. She had to get out of that house just to get some air. In a huff, Penelope had picked a direction and taken off, wandering aimlessly without a thought. It wasn't long before she realized she needed to find her way home. Looked back down at the sleepy town family had just moved to. There were hardly any cars on the road, no kids in the streets, just a vacant main street with a handful of local mum and pop shops. Only a speck in the distance, the old slanted roof across the far end that her parents now called home. But not her. Still feeling the sting of spite, Penelope continued to climb. Muscles in her legs protested as she pressed on. She sidestepped a puddle, kicking up a batch of freshly fallen leaves as she went. As they drifted to the pavement, her eyes followed the path. Long wrought iron fence stretched across the top of the hill, protecting the rows of forgotten gravestones that lay nestled inside. Beside its gates rose a wooden post with a small house-like structure nailed to the top. Penelope blinked. It was one of those novelty miniature libraries. People posted outside their houses along bike trails. What is it doing way out here? Before she realized it, her feet were already carrying her closer. Do you mean to skip past that? Curious to what treasures awaited in this little lost library, Penelope pulled at the knob, screwed onto the little door, but it didn't budge. She furrowed her brow and tugged harder. Rusted metal hinges creaked ominously, greeting her entry. Cloud dust puffed in her face and coughed, waving it away. Inside were 2 rows of weathered books stacked neatly end to end, each one looking as old as the last. She brushed away some grime, tilting her head to get a better look at the tiles along the edges. Penelope's dismay grew as she recognized many of the titles, yet had very little interest in reading them. Classics, mostly, but nothing that seemed to excite her. Seriously, is it hard to find one mousy Percy Jackson? She was about to close the door and trudge back down the hill when one small book, pressed against the edge by a large dictionary, caught her eye. Pulled it out to examine it, but found the gold lettering on the mahogany red cover to be etched away. Ove Era by Stella Jett. Turning it over, Penelope's intrigue got the better of her as she flipped to the title page. I get flashbanged. Penelope screamed and dropped the book as if it were made of red-hot metal. Pages flipped furiously between the covers, some ripping out entirely and swirling above as if caught in a wild tornado. Pale blue light flashed and burst like a firecracker. Penelope watched in horror as a long, slender form of delicate fingers rose from the book. The entire person seemed to rise out of the book, hovering gingerly in the air and stretching their arms, yawning loudly. Stretching into the night was an attractive young woman, a pressed blue dress hugging tightly around her waist. Blinked away the drowsiness from her elegant doe eyes and ran a hand through her bony light hair, hung in curls down to her shoulders.
Well, I'll be.
Oh, you get voice acting? Hell yeah, I like voice acting. Means less reading for me. Penelope opened her mouth to scream again, but no sound came out. Eyes filled with the image of the floating translucent lady smiling cheerfully down at her.
Aren't you just the cutest little thing?
I mean, I can say the same about you, lady.
Oh, mercy me! You must be mortified. I'm sorry for the little scare. Here, let me help you up.
Wait, we can touch each other? Not that way, but like, isn't she like a ghost or something? Gracefully bent down and extended a hand towards Penelope. Penelope took it without thinking, still awestruck. She reached out, the woman's hand felt smooth and cold to the touch.
Huh. Much better.
What are you even?
Where are my manners? Why, I'm the great Stella Jackson.
Oh, the author of the book. Neat. Flash of hesitation seemed to cross her eyes as she looked down at her translucent form.
As for what? It appears I'm some aberration of sorts.
You mean you don't know?
I guess I don't. Last thing I remember was rolling around in my grave, eternal beauty rest and all, when some strange figure appeared. Large fellow, I reckon. He seemed to reach down and scoop me right up. Carried me for a while and plopped on this here shelf. That's when you came along.
That doesn't answer a ton of questions. Why were you even in a book to begin with? Stella looked down and carefully picked up the novel, turning it over in her hands curiously.
Well, if it ain't my old autobiography. I remember writing this between takes on Up and Away.
Stella thumbed through the now still pages before pressing the book close to her chest.
My, what gorgeous days those were. Bright lights, caviar, flip-tops, the boy.
Were you gonna show me some of those boys? But yeah, I think we might see one of those bright lights when we open your book. Flip tops?
Oh, to be swept up on the stage again. To see the pictures come alive.
Like a movie?
Why, yes. It was a miracle to be a part of.
And now we have an abundance of them nowadays. Wait, you were like a movie star?
One of the very best, dear. You could have walked down Hollywood Boulevard without seeing my name in lights.
So, what happened? The actress' expression dropped.
I was on the way to a premiere. It was shaping up to be my biggest night yet. The cameras were flashing. The crowd was cheering. I guess with all the commotion, I didn't notice the two headlights coming my way.
Stella shook her head as if to shake the painful memories loose.
But that's all in the past now. Boy, I sure wish I could have seen that show.
Why don't you? Go to the show, I mean. You have all eternity, don't you?
Oh, I would if I could, darling. But it don't work like that. My soul is where I was put to rest. And since I'm in this here cemetery, this cemetery is where I stay.
Penelope paused, waiting for the moment to catch up with her new airhead friend. Moments passed before she spoke. But you're not in the cemetery. Stella blinked, unsure of what she had just heard, before turning to notice the two of them standing before the library outside the wrought iron gate.
Mercy me. It would appear so.
Her eyes widened and shone like stars.
Do you know what this means?
Not exactly. You're no longer under house arrest?
Why, we can go have the night of our lives, silly.
Hell yeah. Bounced in the air, clapping her hands, getting excitedly close to Penelope.
Ooh, we could go to the supermarket, or dress shopping, or dance to the jukebox, or...
Whoa. Wouldn't that freak everyone out to see a ghost wandering around town? Also, one thing at a time. Don't know how much time we have left yet, you know. Don't know if this is a permanent thing. Stella paused to think.
You got over it rather quickly, wouldn't you say?
Touché.
This is gonna be so much fun! What should we do first?
Penelope glanced down at her half-dead watch, ticking away at her curfew. She felt a tinge of heat in her chest. That sounds fine. I've got nowhere to be, so long as it's not too late.
Oh, of course, dear. We'll have a night on the town and be back in a jiffy.
Penelope walked down the hill towards the small town at the bottom, Stella hovering gleefully behind her, chatting away.
I remember when that was the local sock hop bowling alley. Over there, they used to sell everything from vacuums to washers, everything an average housewife would need. I can't believe they still have Old Mill. Don't even get me started on how it used to smell.
Penelope rolled her eyes. It was like talking to her grandma. Kept searching for people's reaction to a disembodied friend, but no one seemed to pay them any mind. She breathed a sigh of relief. She noticed the only thing she could hear was her sneakers on the pavement. The night had gone uncharacteristically quiet. Glancing around, Stella was nowhere to be seen. Panic started to creep up Penelope's throat as she doubled back, checking across the road and looking into the alleyways. Finally, she had turned the corner store and found Stella staring sorrowfully into an outcropped storefront. What happened? I thought I lost you. Penelope followed her eyes, connecting the dots to a flashing movie poster. Tonight only, Tim Cruise started an objective Improbable 8. Oh god, I love that. I love that so much. Penelope smiled. Without a word, she marched to the door and up to the ticket counter. 2 for objective Improbable, please. I just noticed in the back, Beppis. Oh my god, these movie posters as well. There's Silence of the Silence of the Sheep, Pause, and Plane. The bored-looking attendant sized her up and down before glancing behind her. Got a friend coming late? Show starts in 7 minutes. Oh, I guess 1 for objective Improbable, actually. Click shrugged, accepting Penelope's outstretched allowance, and traded her a ticket stub before returning to his game of staring off into space. Blues to Stella squealing behind Penelope.
Oh, thank you. My gracious, I can't believe I get to wake up and see an honest-to-God 21st century movie for the first time in 70 years. Oh, what should I wear? Is my hair okay? Do you think I need a touch-up? Hey, where are you going?
Penelope reappeared, holding some popcorn brought with the rest of her meek budget. Gesturing towards the swinging door, they stepped into the theatre together. She helped Stella find her seats. The theatre was sparse with guests, with plenty of vacant rows in between.
Ain't this just swell? Best chairs in the house, I say. Oh, you mind if I try some of that there popcorn?
Screen blurred with an endless stream of advertisements. Stella bounced in her seat, gasping at every movie trailer, pointing out similarities to her old film days, rating every male actor based on their hotness. Good. Penelope was just starting to worry about the ghost would end up yapping through the whole movie when the lights dimmed and the curtain unfurled. Actors flashed into view, running across the top of a train in dramatic chase. Penelope was got a gnawing feeling in her stomach. What if the actress didn't like action movies? Probably preferred romance drama or a cheesy musical. Shifting in her seat, she glanced over at Stella. Mouth was agape, eyes wide, utterly enchanted with the scene on screen.
That was incredible! Can you believe they flew those aeroplanes upside down? I nearly jumped out of my skin. Wow, that must have taken decades worth of production. And the music was so thrilling. I can still feel it rattle in my bones. If I had any bones, that is.
You'd be surprised at how easy it is to make that sort of stuff. I mean, it's still a lot of hard work, but now we're in the era of advanced technology, we can do that sort of stuff. Stella snorted at her own joke. Pair compared their favourite moments, walking on air as they climbed the hill at the edge of town. Smallpox nailed to a sturdy wooden post crept into their view. Conversation began to trail away as the end of their walk neared. Penelope could feel the energy drain from Stella's voice with every step. What is it? What's wrong? Stella opened her mouth to say something, but no words came out. She took another breath and tried again.
I get the feeling this might have been a one-time thing. Something's telling me that it's gonna be a very long time before we see each other again.
If we're still alive, that is. Penelope's throat became tight, not wanting to acknowledge the end to their story. Stella turned to face her, grinning from ear to ear.
Thank you, sweetheart. This has been the best evening a girl could ask for.
But why? I don't understand. Why do you have to go? Stella drifted closer to Penelope, gently folding the book into her hands.
When I was asleep, I always felt like I'd been cheated out of the night that I passed. While I had come to accept my circumstances, it always bothered me. All I wanted was one more night. One night at the movies where I could be myself and not a character I play on screen.
Now you finally got it. Stella's gentle and icy hand brushed the hair out of Penelope's view as her own pearly eyes welled up with tears.
And darling, you did exactly that. And I can't thank you enough for being you and all.
Oh, well, thank you. Please. Penelope caught her breath when the pale moonlight shone more clearly through Stella's increasingly translucent form. As if evaporating into a cloud of mist, the ends of her pointed dress, the tips of her delicately manicured fingers, all began to lose their shape and drift away into the breeze.
You hold on to that there story, hun. It feels special. At least to me.
Stella's gentle smile began fading into the cold autumn night. Penelope clutched the book and hugged it tightly to her chest. Then, special to me too. Man, I was not expecting to get all teary-eyed. Anyway, the following night, Penelope couldn't get the thoughts of the previous day out of her head. Was it all even real? Was Stella okay? What is up with that weird little library? Could hardly sleep sneaking out of the house the next night to investigate the graveyard again. Part of the cemetery entrance was filled as she walked alone, finding the breeze uphill. Finally, after passing in its crest, she spotted the familiar source of her curiosities. There it stood, the lone little library, out of place against the black backdrop of the depressing resting place of those who lay beyond it. Penelope squinted through the paneled glass on the door, scanning every book title. Though she knew Stella's book was sitting on her nightstand, she half expected it to be here again. Her heart sank a little when she didn't recognize it among the sack. Except, in its place sat a different book, one that didn't look nearly as ancient. Glossy blue edges suggested it had been recently come off the printer. Pulled it from the stack and scoffed at the title. Temptation? How sappy is that? Oh god, is it gonna be, a 50 Shades of Grey type of book? Cause, oh god. We do not need an ad of that. Unless Penelope here is into it, then go for it, I guess. Penelope thumbed open the pages. With a flash, the book burst to life. Flashbang again, ow, my eyes. We need to bring ourselves with goggles next time. Raised her hand to shield her eyes. Less startled than her first experience. The light show died down. Hovering gently in front of her was a tall, pale man. Okay, you're not exactly what I expected. His dark tousled hair made him look like he had just rolled out of bed, while some of the frames suggested he wasn't built for much athletics. He didn't appear as elegant as Stella, sporting only a casual pair of jeans and an old sweatshirt. Sharp rectangular glasses framed the edges of his face. His faint smile lines creased around his eyes.
Boy,
You good?
was it stuffy in there? Or was it just me?
Definitely sounds like Shaggy too. Goose seemed to be waiting for a hearty laugh or pause. There was none. What? Man chuckled to himself, trying to recover.
I kid. Not many people appreciate such lowbrow humor these days. Boy, it's good to stretch again. How long have I been out?
I wouldn't really know. Guess it's probably on your gravestone.
My gravestone?
Oh, we got that frowny face. Reality started to sink in as he absentmindedly started to rub his throat.
Oh yeah, I guess that would make sense. Begs the question of what I'm doing here now.
Penelope shrugged. I'm not sure. Yesterday I pulled a book from this library and met an old-timey actress. A bit ditzy, but sweet. Penelope's tone dropped a little. Headed away shortly after we went to see a movie together.
You think it has anything to do with helping the ghosts you find in your books?
Could be. Only one way to test it. Anything I can help you with? The strange spectator paused to ponder once again.
Let's go find that gravestone. You think it's all alphabetized?
Probably not. Although that would be rather easy. Yep. Together the two wandered aimlessly around the graveyard, brushing off leaves and grime from the headstones for a better look. What am I looking for again?
Mound. Alan, Mound. Couldn't have been too long, I hope.
Man, that is an unfortunate name. An hour passed before the pair arrived at a fresh plot with a wilting bouquet of flowers beside it. Alan stared down at his name, carved pristinely into the stone face. Alan Mound, dear son and friend, taken too early. May you rest in peace. Only passed away a couple of months ago.
Yeah, sucked too. Didn't know the cake I was eating had nuts in it. That and the last EpiPen I had was defective. Always knew that's how I would be done in. I was like crazy allergic.
Man, what a way to go out. And that had to suck. Yikes, that does suck. The only thing I get as high is when I take, that kind of drug. Silence filled the crisp air. Do you think that helped at all?
No, not really. I thought it would be some kind of closure. But it's hard to see your own resting place.
Well, think of it this way. You're a ghost. You can do what you want now. You can fly, or pass through walls, or... Eyes began to light up.
Or die! Oh my god! You know what this means?
You're too late to search for the fountain of youth.
No, well, yes. But it also means nothing can kill me. Literally. All my life, my friends have gone on and on, raving about their favorite candy, while I stared in from the outside.
Oh, so you want to try a different candy, because don't have to fear getting an allergic reaction to it now. Oh.
Not this time. Now the unattainable is within reach. The crown jewel for all nut allergies everywhere. A peanut butter cup.
Hell yeah, you go eat as many as you want. You can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I didn't even...
We have no time to waste.
Before she could get another word in, Alan bolted off toward town. Penelope sighed and jogged towards the exit. But we're back at the theater again. Gone through to the store.
Here?
Why not? It's the only place in town where they have king size, and besides, who would charge the crap out of it anyway? They won't care. Penelope crept through the steel side entrance that pressed tightly against the alley wall. Merely a sticky theater floor and the smell of butter grazed her senses.
How did you know about this anyway?
I saw it yesterday when hanging out with my other friend. I was planning on using it already, but wasn't in room.
Boy, your arms must be tired.
That's not how the joke goes. Penelope hissed through gritted teeth, determined not to give Alan the satisfaction of making a crack. Maneuvering around the edge of the lobby, she darted quickly to avoid the notice from the ticket attendant. After Alan crunched enthusiastically. Long strides with tight velociraptor arms. That's a way to fucking describe them. As if right out of a Scooby-Boo show. She tried to swat him, but her hand passed right through. That's strange. So, for him, he acts like an actual ghost. Can I help you? Penelope snapped her attention, frozen in front of the concessions clerk. Whatever suspicious behavior she was exhibiting seemed to fly right over his head as he stared patiently back. Yeah, peanut butter cup, please.
King size.
King sized, I mean. Click begrudgingly swished the already acquired candy in his hand for the larger one and took the change. Better get an advance on my allowance if I keep all these ghost adventures going, Penelope thought to herself, taking the orange delights into her sweater and backing away towards where she came. After a thorough scan, the pair slipped out of the side entrance, gingerly letting the door slide back into place behind them. Finally. Penelope sighed, fishing out chocolate cups and holding them out to Alan. Your prize.
Yes!
Alan reached for his forbidden fruit. Plop. They fell. God damn it, Alan. I can see that.
I can't hold them.
I can see that too. As eyes seemed to well up, holding back tears, Penelope hesitated. Are you going to...
Oh my god! Why must you torment me still?
Oh, poor dude. Okay, dude, chill. Maybe we can find another way.
Like what? What do you want to do? Kill the peanut butter cups? Stab them with a knife? Maybe we can dance around them and reverse seance them in the afterlife, huh?
Maybe we can do that. Ideas are as good as mine. Acts like a ghost expert here. These weird things only started happening yesterday. Unsharp his hands in defense.
Look, sorry. It's just frustrating, okay? I thought I finally cracked the code.
She stood in silence, letting themselves catch their breath.
Regardless, I appreciate you at least trying to help me. You didn't need to do that. Or needlessly sneak into a movie theater, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, sorry too. Wish I could have done more. Penelope scooped up the candy from the ground. Come on, let's head back. It's getting late anyway. Sure, I will create a screen to myself in the alleyway. He'd walked back up the hill and through the cemetery was awkward and quiet, finally ending in a familiar gravestone.
So, what happens now?
I'm not sure. Stella seemed to know it was time to move on and kind of just faded away. Alan gave her a sad smile.
I might not be able to have them. but it'd still be nice if one of us enjoyed the cups.
Penelope's heart sank. He wanted so badly to help fulfill his wish. Suddenly she knelt down before the tombstone, sinking her hands into the soft earth and carving out a small mob. Ellen glanced towards her, puzzled as she ripped open the packaging and dumped a peanut butter cup into the cavity, covering it back over with loose soil. Mary leaned back, satisfied with her small gesture. There. Now we can both have one.
That's alright. Maybe life is just chasing an endless goal of fulfillment. Always out of reach, or never enough. Maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe one day we can all learn to— Oh my god, what is that?
Oh god. Cub made it into the afterlife. Pierre stared in shock at the small, translucent, glowing blue form of a peanut butter cup drifted up from the stove at Penelope's knees. Alan immediately shot down on all fours, watching it rise and levitate its way towards the heavens. No freaking way.
That worked! I can't believe that worked! What did you do?
I don't know. I just buried it as like some kind of nice offering. I didn't think it'd ghostify it. Alan gasped, his eyes growing wider.
Graveyard soil! Of course!
Was it even that? How the heck do we know? Hurry up and grab it before it floats away. Alan's spindly arms reached out and plucked the cup from the air, bringing it close to his face and to get a good whiff.
Oh yeah, it's finally time.
Do we need to leave you two alone for a moment? Wait. Lily rushed to dig out another piece. She turned back excited to cheers and celebrate with her friend. Half starting as Alan's ghostly figure was already half gone. As dramatically as he could, Alan slowly raised the peanut butter cup to his mouth, took an enormous bite. Cheeks puffed out like a chipmunk as he stuffed in the rest, savoring each slobbery bite that he could. Well? Alan smiled warmly at her, chocolate still smearing on his dorky face as he faded out of view.
It's alright.
The next night. No, that one was kind of sweet. At least he got his peanut butter cup in the end. Okay, which ghost are we going to get next? The leaves crunched beneath Penelope's feet. The familiar little box of stories beckoned to her from the other side of the road. Excited at the prospects of today's adventure, she raced over to flip the latch and open the small makeshift library posted on the curb. The usual books were still right where she left them, untouched, unmoving, but filled with potential. Penelope scanned the small wooden shelves for new stories. Moby Dick, The Great Gatsby, One Piece. Nothing looked out of place this time. Surely there has to be one. Furrowed her brow at the books again, taking a second, even a third look at each of them. Romeo and Juliet, To Kill a Mockingbird, Harley and Me, Game of Thrones, wait, Harley? That one is a misplaced letter almost ruined her day. Penelope rolled her eyes, already guessing at the next colourful character to his lonely graveyard. Only some unfunny prankster needs me to write jokes for them. Let the book out, finding it surprisingly thin, nothing more than a simple picture book. It equals bright red against a white backdrop. Picture from the front depicted two figures in a tight but gentle embrace. Penelope flipped open the book, looking up to greet her next friend. A moment passed, then another. Looked around the empty field, where she had chosen wrong. Maybe it was just a printing error. Oh. Well, I think we found our new friend. Suddenly, something barreled past her legs, almost knocked Penelope to the ground, creating somewhere behind her vision. She turned her head and caught a glimpse. Not something ghostly pale or blue, but a glow of something much brighter, standing out against the misty, chilly night. Oh, there he goes again. Raced around her again, circling, but oddly not threatening. Paused, excited with anticipation. One quick movement, Penelope snapped around the other direction, determined to catch it off guard. I jerked off course and crashed straight into it, sending the two of them tumbling. There's our flashlight. Rather than the impact of the rogue fireball, Penelope went struggling to find her breath. Felt like an elephant was lying on her chest. Very furry elephant, panting heavily from his recent burst of zoomies. Oh, look at him, he's so cute. She opened her eyes to a large grinning dog, sitting proudly on her chest, his face only an inch or two from hers. Oh my god, don't do that. Dog sank further into her chest as her body relaxed, now relieved of the unsure danger. Penelope reached out to scratch the dog's head as he leaned heavily into her hand. Color jingled with every bob of his head. On the end, in nice printed letters, its name, Harley. Of course. Pushing off the dew-soaked grass, Penelope tried to sit up. To Harley's reluctance, she attempted to lay awkwardly in the crook between her chest and knees, oblivious to her attempts at escape. Ran her hand down his back as he stared off at something in between the trees. His tail thumped happily on the ground, spraying her already soaked t-shirt with more dew. Okay, Harley. His head turns at the recognition of his name, finally stepping back and giving her his full attention. Without him suffocating her, she could hardly tell he was a ghost at all. So, a slightly translucent pale colour, Harley's golden retriever form seemed to be a warm-tinted yellow. From a distance, he looked like any other dog, but in reality, Penelope pushed the harrowing thoughts away, knowing full well what they led to. That is actually kind of depressing, but hopefully was very much loved and led a long, fulfilling life, as all dogs should deserve. Harley started sniffing around, at his feet, curious about a new discovery he made. As she stooped down to take a closer look, Penelope heard a loud crunch as Harley's jaws clamped together. Without hesitation, he took off, putting 10 feet between him and Penelope before checking back to make sure she was following. Whatever it is, that can't be good. Penelope took off, tearing after the mischievous pup, clearly proud of the prize he trapped between his jaws. God, what has he got in his mouth? Penelope's shoes pounded against the twigs and high brush in hot pursuit of 4 bounding paws. Harley raced around a tall grey stone, poking his head out to check if she had seen him before taking off again, following the edge of the cemetery in a fast-paced trot. He could come up, Penelope followed close behind, but with enough distance to quickly adjust once he reached a corner. Before she realized it, Harley had slipped between a large bush and disappeared through the wrought iron fence. Penelope pushed the neglected pointed twigs aside to reveal a small hole in the fence, barely big enough for her to squeeze through. Harley sat patiently on the other side, watching her slowly gnawing at an estranged pine cone between his teeth. Penelope crawled on all fours, not looking forward to explaining the new mud stains on her jean to her parents. Brushing off the dirt, she glanced around the large open field, situated next to the cemetery. Clearly there wasn't a lot of interest in dead-smelling real estate. Harley's tail swept across the ground, wildly congratulating her on her journey. His head approached low, gently placing the slobber-soaked pine cone at her feet. Even back, he braced for the chase, dropped to his front legs and started intentionally at the unmoving tree seed. He delicately plucked the pine cone from the ground, careful to avoid the areas that were a more damp than others. Harley's happy grin turned into brainless determination. The sides of his face relaxed into a droop as his eyes followed the makeshift ball. This is summer softball season. Penelope's parents signed her up for wouldn't go to waste. Winding up, she shifted her balance and launched the cone with all her might. Harley barreled after the toy, sprinting at top speed for the first time in decades. Penelope soaked in the simplicity of it all. Harley triumphantly bounced back to her prize, or his prize. His hurried golden form circling his legs, clearly looking for a good boy's pets with every pass. Not cute. Good job, buddy. Now drop it. The dog hesitated, his glazed eyes staring up at her. He tried it again, a little sterner. Drop it. Bowing his snout, Harley pretended to relinquish his toy before putting his head back at the last minute. Of course they do. Penelope gave him her best mum stare. Drop it. Reluctantly, he complied, straightening every muscle in his body with anticipation for the next throw. Hours seemed to fly by as Penelope and Harley tossed the pine cone, chased and laid together in the grass, joining each other's company until the sun started to dip beneath the tall pine tree line. Penelope looked down at the happy dog sprawled awkwardly across the lawn, head lying heavily in her lap, snoring away. She could see that his ghostly form was already fading, signaling the little time they had left. Penelope ran her fingers beneath his slender chin, causing his back leg to twitch and kick. Oh, cute. Harley, just wanted one more day of fun, didn't you? Such a good boy. Her voice quivered. I'm not sure if he understood what she was saying or knew what an impact he had. Giving her a simple time just to exist with him. And that was enough. She was enough. Come on, Harley. Words caught in her throat as she tried to wipe away the guilt she felt. Sure she'd see him again. Time for a good, long nap. She sat up, caused him to stir, roll in the dirt, leap to his feet, happy to accompany her where she pleased. Walked together through the park and around the fenced graveyard toward the entrance. Each step felt like a weight being placed on Penelope's heart. Oh, well, he's definitely gonna have a place in our heart, as with the other two ghosts as well. When they reached the little library, Harley stuck his nose to the post, sniffing around for any sign of dog friends or rogue squirrels. Once he checked that it was safe, turned back to her, proud and grinning, goofy as ever. Penelope knelt down next to her and pressed her forehead against his. I know you have to go. Probably won't see each other again. I want you to know what a good boy you are. How much everyone must have loved you, and words were cut off by a big sloppy kiss from Harley. His tongue flicked in and out of his mouth as he barraged her face with slobber. Harley looked up with knowing eyes, as if he already knew what she was going to say. She smiled, wishing she could have a few more minutes with him. The sky was already shifting, violet to pink. Good night, Harley. Stay tight. I love you. As night vanished into the morning sun, so did Harley, his happy tail thumping in the grass, thanking her for the time she spent with him. The end. I think I'm gonna be back in just a second, once I cry it out. Okay, I think I'm good now. Man, that was a nice little story. I like that. Yeah, just even little moments like that can definitely make a life seem a little bit more better. Even if it's from a little ghost friend. But yeah, that was a little Library Spirits. That was a nice game. I like that. Definitely like the voice acting and the art and the writing. Just, yeah, overall a very good visual novel. Yeah, if you guys want to play this game for yourself, as always, the link will be down in the description below. And yeah, just know that you do matter, even if it is just for yourself.